Immigration Commission members named, the Education Minister revealing some disturbing news, and the opposition slamming a government agency's proposed move. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jcn with your JCN News for this Thursday, October 26. Thanks for joining us. Prime Minister Philip Davis back in June revealed that there would be a comprehensive review of the Immigration Department in wake of controversy coming out of that department. Emails between Keturah Ferguson, who was then Director of Immigration, and Permanent Secretary of Immigration and Labor, Cecilia Strawn. Allegations swirled that former Minister of Immigration Keith Bell interfered with the work of immigration officers. Well, fast forward to yesterday in Parliament, and newly appointed Immigration Minister Alfred Sears gave an update on that commission review. Cale Campbell has more in this report.
The Immigration Comprehensive Review Commission has been selected, as revealed in Parliament on Wednesday by Minister of Immigration Alfred Sears. Minister Sears listed the names of the individual members of the commission, as well as a general synopsis of the commission's purpose and aim.
This commission, led by Ms. Alexandria Hall and supported by the expertise of former Director of Education and now member of the Public Policy Institute of the University of the Bahamas, Dr. Marcellus Taylor, and the former Commodore of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Mr. Clifford Scavala, is set to make pivotal strides in improving the way immigration decisions are made in the Bahamas. The Commission will review the checks and balances relative to how immigration decisions are made and make recommendations to strengthen the decision-making process. To this very heavy mandate, I look forward to working with the Commission and to having the benefit of its report and recommendation.
As it relates to the matter reported in a local daily concerning a mother of 3 children who resided in the Cool Acres shantytown until she was taken by immigration authorities while her children were in school, the Minister of Immigration provided an update on that situation.
The Ministry of Immigration and NIB has been working with the Unregulated Communities Action Task Force, which is led by the Minister of Works and Member of Parliament for South Eleuthera. Recently, there was a report that during an exercise, a mother had been separated from her children. We investigated that report, and I'm happy to report that the mother and children had been united.
With that being revealed, Immigration Minister Sears spoke of his desire to change the public perception of the Immigration Department, adding that the sector is gearing up to go through a transitional phase, which he will regularly keep the members of Parliament up to date with.
We will be transformational. We will use all available tools and resources to invest in training and retraining to build the capacity of the staff to serve the public as efficiently as possible and at all times, and establish and implement, and this is very important, a succession plan to facilitate a path for the professional mobility through the ranks, ultimately to the Director of Immigration. In this session, Mr. Deputy, there will be a number of bills I will bring to amend the Immigration Act and the Bahamas Nationality Act to ensure fairness, efficiency, and accountability in this important area of national security.
During the period when Parliament was prorogued, a cabinet shuffle occurred, resulting in the Minister of Immigration at the time, Keith Bell, changing his ministerial portfolio to becoming Minister of Housing and Urban Renewal, while Minister Alfred Sears switched his ministerial responsibilities from Works and Utilities to Immigration and National Insurance Board. Now, the official opposition levied the claim that the proroguing of the previous session of Parliament was to prevent the opposition from questioning the government on several high-profile matters and changed ministers' roles during the cabinet shuffle in order to avoid accountability to the Bahamian people. For Jcn News, I'm Cale Campbell.
The United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention is expected to visit the Bahamas next month, November 27th, specifically to inspect the country's immigration sector at all levels. This was also revealed by the Immigration Minister on Wednesday evening. Minister Sears cited the need for investment and a holistic approach that involves cooperation, addressing the matter at the root cause through international collaboration.
This group from the United Nations will visit our detention center, the safe house in the Bahamas, will consult with the civil society, the human rights group, persons who would have been themselves detained at some time. We welcome this visit, and we will engage the United Nations in a very frank and open manner, and also use it as an opportunity to redouble our commitment and effort to improve the infrastructure of our detention facilities.
Now, Minister Sears was appointed Minister of Immigration after a cabinet reshuffle back in September. He expressed his gratitude to his predecessor, Minister Bell, who now serves as Minister of Housing and Urban Renewal. The Immigration Minister says he appreciates the plans left in place for the improvement of the Immigration Department, going on to also thank the Minister of Health and Wellness for further health protocols implemented.
I found plans already in place to upgrade the detention center, and he had already made a substantial improvement, in fact a new facility for the medical services within the detention center. There's now a full nurse and also doctors on rotation. I also want to thank the Minister of Health for this improvement within the detention center. We also will be renovating the safe house for women and children who are in the safe house, so that we can maintain the minimum standard which is required by our international obligation.
In providing immigration statistics since the commencement of the new 2023-2024 budget, between July and August, 1,126 persons have been repatriated to various countries. That includes 746 males, 301 females, and 79 children. Well, still on news from the Department of Immigration, 3 officers will be arraigned in the Magistrates Court following an immigration ring being discovered. Deputy Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Keishla Adderley, making that announcement this morning at the Office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing. She says the officers were allegedly caught selling visa extensions.
But a ring of sorts has been uncovered by officials of the Immigration Department. It's alleged that immigration officers were involved in the sale of extensions. In other words, they were being paid to secure longer stays in the Bahamas here for persons who entered the country as tourists, and that is presumably to allow them to work here without going through the proper protocols and channels. Now, obviously, the Immigration Department is disappointed at this action which allegedly took place, but the hope is that the prosecution of individuals involved in this ring will deter others from doing the same.
The officers will head to court sometime next week. Well, Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin revealed some disturbing news in the House of Assembly on Wednesday morning, and that's that a 12-year-old boy was recently found by COVID-19 officers living alone in a car. Officers who once monitored the streets while the country was facing emergency orders and lockdowns are now assisting the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training with monitoring school attendance. Minister Hannah Martin, while contributing to the resolution on the speech from the throne debate in the lower chamber, said the child is now in the custody of the state.
But we also engaged additional attendance monitors. They actually were COVID police. And we brought them over, we trained them, and they are on the ground every day looking for children. Every day. Just the other day, they found a 12-year-old living in a car by himself. By himself. But these are the issues that now we could ignore it, you know. We could ignore it, turn our head the next way. But that will come back to haunt us. And further should haunt us anyhow, because a child should not fall by the wayside. The one person protected in this life should be the children of this nation.
Minister Hannah Martin reiterated that the COVID pandemic exacerbated the challenges or crisis that education officials, parents, teachers, and students face. Further noting that her ministry took the old-fashioned approach with all hands on deck to physically go door to door to re-engage absentee students. In one walkabout in the Freetown constituency, some 60 children were found who were not attending school. It was also discovered that at least 7,000 children across the educational sector went off the radar during and post COVID-19.
And so we went out there, and I am told this is a qualified assessment for September this month, last month. I am told on our EMIS, which is our system that monitors attendance, that for the month of September, qualified because they're going to cross-reference by going on the ground, speaking to teachers, etc. But the EMIS is showing an attendance rate of over 95% of children. So we prioritize getting children off the street and into the classroom.
The minister contends that educational officials want to take education to the next level. The idea of the Road Traffic Department moving from the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium to a building owned by former Progressive Liberal Party Member of Parliament and Cabinet Minister is not sitting well with the official opposition. Earlier this week, Transport Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis told reporters that the RTD will be relocating to a property off Harold Road. Add to that, work is being done for possible move-in by early 2024. Well, a local daily reported Thursday morning that former Member of Parliament for Tall Pines, Leslie Miller, has been awarded the contract to house road traffic in his Summer Winds Plaza on Harold Road. The Free National Movement in a statement says the PLP cronyism on display with the planned move of RTD to Summer Winds Plaza. The statement notes that, yet again, the PLP remains wedded to its notorious culture of cronyism and favoritism in the reported granting of a lease to former PLP Minister Leslie Miller for the Road Traffic Department to move its headquarters to Summer Winds Plaza on the Tonique-Williams-Darling Highway here in the capital. Bahamians remember well, the opposition says, how then Prime Minister Perry Christie's administration gave a multi-year lease to Mr. Miller, knowing full well that he did not have the funds to undertake the renovations to make the building fit for business accommodations. When the F&M came to power in 2017, it met a lease arrangement in place, but with facilities in varying states of severe disrepair, even though Mr. Miller was paid thousands of dollars by the government to make the building ready for the Ministry of the Public Service and National Insurance. The building was never upgraded to the normal standard for occupying by the public officers. Consequently, the ministry did not and could not move into the facility. Now, the F&M is also accusing the Davis administration of entering into a secret deal to settle with Mr. Miller and says that given that Mr. Miller continues to be a senior member of the Progressive Liberal Party and given that he is a former minister and MP, And given that he reportedly still owes tens of millions of dollars to Bahamian taxpayers through resolve, the opposition demands that the full terms of this agreement be published and that the public is assured that the entirety of any net income generated through this arrangement goes first to settle the debt that Mr. Miller owes to the Bahamian people. Any other arrangement would be untenable. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.